call this meeting to order. Would you stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't have any additions or deletions, do we? Okay. Is there a motion for approval of the 2 budget workshops and the council meetings for April?
I move we approve the 2 budget workshops and the council meeting for April.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. We'll move on to reports. Councilman Moulton.
I had a GDC meeting. I think we're just kind of waiting to see how the funding shakes down this year and get started on some of the projects we got planned. So
Okay.
that's about it.
Any of them you can talk about, or?
Oh yeah, sure. They want to start huge online presence, which is supposed to be modern. More money in the facade grant, which would be great for new businesses or startup businesses. I can't remember them all. There was 5 things. The Glenrock After Hours events, keep those going. There was 2 more I can't remember off the top.
Website, right? I mean, that's
The online,
presence.
website.
Yeah, because they initially talked about doing a flyer for new businesses, but then it was discussed that the website would probably be
Yeah, better.
a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Good. It's good to hear.
Yep.
Councilwoman Fonce.
I have nothing.
Councilman Kincaid.
Just listening on the COVID-19 briefings 3 days a week and attended the budget workshops.
Councilwoman Nunn.
Yes, our new director from the Community Service Block Grants is moving the program forward quite well. She sent out a review of the application form and appears to be very on top of what is needed to keep our program going forward. A sad note, though, is Mr. Shimori lost his mother about a week ago. And then I visited with Mrs. Grant from the mountains, and she reported that they have more snow than they have seen for many years at this time of the year. So Deer Creek may have a few frolicking days this spring. And thanks to Randy for getting the drawing out on the proposed park, and to Kelly for the work that she's put into getting these budget items to us. That's it.
Okay. Tammy.
GEDC has some seats available. We have some seats that are expiring. Their terms are expiring, and everybody that's expiring is happy to stay on, but we wanted to make sure that we opened it up in case there were any other people that were interested in serving on the commission. So applications are online on our website for that. Is one of them a county?
2 for the town, 1 for Rolling Hills, and 1 for the county.
Okay, so.
So there's 4 seats.
4 seats coming up.
Oh,
So
okay.
then if they want to apply for the county or Rolling Hills, they need to go to the proper, the Rolling Hills or the county for the applications.
Sure.
So there's that. The census, so Glenrock as of this morning was at like 19% response rate. The state of Wyoming is at about 44%. Rolling Hills is at 63% or something. So I talked with the gals over at the census today, the Census Bureau, and I've been putting out there that you can respond online at 2020census.gov. It's very simple. It takes 5 minutes, I think.
Takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then, or you can call 844-330-2020 and do it online. Glenrock will not receive forms in the mail because they do not mail to P.O. boxes. So we are at a disadvantage because COVID-19 right now is not allowing them to go house to house yet. And we can't get our stuff in mail. I'm not really sure. I've had some people comment online that they've received theirs in the mail, but
I think
I was told that they were not mailed.
if you have a box number, no, but like Rolling Hills, it all goes to a box, but it's their street addresses for up there, so that's why they got them in the mail also.
So maybe it's possible that somebody that responded that they received something in the mail would have gone to Rolling Hills? I don't know, but
Don't know.
the deadline was originally July 31st, but that's been extended to October 31st, and they've been given the okay to start going house to house again June 1st. So hopefully if people are watching this and they don't want somebody to show up at their house and pester them, they need to get online or pick up the phone and call and respond.
I guess get it back out there on the information board and everything else, so we get more people to go online and get it done. I even got mine done, so.
I know.
And it's so important for our community. People, I don't
It
think,
is.
understand it. But,
Yeah, oh,
it
and
makes a
they
big
also,
deal.
they also mentioned that it's really good if somebody recognizable wants to make a little video that we could put out.
You do a good job.
Nobody wants to hear this voice.
We took a private ballot.
Yeah, I bet you did. I wasn't there to protect myself, apparently.
So anyway, that's pretty much our Corbly. We've got Corbly scholarships. The deadline is passed, and Bruce has those to review. And
We talked about them at the department head meeting the other day, and I never got them. I forgot, I walked out without them.
and we have the liquor licenses. I'm still waiting on. That's it.
But
Okay.
Tammy, is there any way we could have like a little flyer that they drop in everyone's grocery bag down at the grocery store with this 2020 census line that they could go to and remind people to get their census taken? A lot of people filter through the grocery store.
Well, we did discuss hanging up some posters at the grocery store. I don't know if you can ask. I mean, I suppose I could ask if we could.
If you could just drop in with their groceries a little bag, please take the census.
P.O. box?
You can do a bulk
Little,
mail
could
thing,
we do a bulk mail P.O. box?
So.
but it costs us to do that.
I know.
If you want to pay for it,
How much would it cost us, do you think?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
It's probably run,
for a stamp.
right?
Yeah.
Postcards
No,
are,
they're pretty,
These little things.
They're all they're carded and they're
postcards
cheap.
are like
'cause it's a
35,
bulk.
33 or 35, but if you do bulk, it's even less than that.
it's cheaper than that when I did for campaigning. I did a bulk mail and it
I can
went
check
way
with Megan
down.
tomorrow.
Why don't you check and see
See
if we can get a better response in town.
We could get the word out.
Even though it just had the
Everybody could do it.
address on it, so people just know, just
Yeah, your
go on
.gov
your
or-
computer here, take you 10 minutes, kind of fun to do, get it done. You'll get a number that long when you get done to record in your book.
Well, and I think we should be probably willing to, even if people don't have computers, that they could come in here and somebody could log in and help them.
Mhm.
I mean, it's that important to get
Yeah.
it
It's
done.
very important to get it done.
That's all I have.
I'll check with Megan.
Okay,
Thank you.
Go through.
Kelly, anything else?
I gave out handouts on Housing Authority for budget. If everybody would just like to take their time, look those over. I also touched base with Solutions for Life today. I did not get a call back. The gal I needed to talk to wasn't in the office.
I don't know where she's at. I know she's on the conference call Monday, Wednesday, and
Yeah,
Friday.
They just said she was away from her desk.
Mhm.
And so I left her email and phone, and she didn't get back to me yet. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have some information from them on why the double. I'll shoot an email probably out tomorrow and try and get responses from you guys on what you think one way or the other, and if we need to meet, we can, but we'll go from there.
Okay.
That's all I have. Oh, one more thing, sorry. We did get the grant money from Wyoming Community Gas, and it came in just a little bit over 6,000. And we had that earmarked to go to the workout equipment along the walking path as we're installing. So
Sweet.
the check is in and equipment's being looked at, and we'll go from there.
Randy, Public Works.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Crew's been busy with street sweeping, garbage collection, meter pit upgrades, park cleaning and mowing, grading dirt roads, and we've done some safety training. Mandatory pre-bid for the walk path is this Thursday, the 30th at 10 o'clock here. YDOT will be on phone with us, so, because they have to be present one way or the other. And then the bid opening for the walk path is the 7th at 10.
It's awesome that you got YDOT to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a TAP grant, they gotta,
They have to control everything, so. Sound system will be installed May 4th and 5th at South Rec. We have the conduit and everything in. We're just waiting for the company to come install everything. And we have the bucket truck lined up to help them with that. And the only question I have, never had a response other than from Margaret, did everybody get the plans for the park
Yes, thank you.
that I emailed out? Okay.
And I did. They get sure.
I thought Jared
That's
was the
nice.
bad boy.
I'm glad you believe me.
That's all I
we
have,
knew better.
unless there's any questions.
Building and code enforcement, Scott.
Mayor and council, since our last meeting, we only had one building permit go out, but we have 307 Ash, which is the house that burnt down. That'll be in completion probably close to the end of this week for occupancy permit. 501 Second Street is a total remodel on the interior of that home and a new garage being built. 702's got a garage going in with a workout room. 710 Grove is another house that's near completion, probably about 3 weeks away. They'll be ready for an occupancy permit. And 96 Mesa Verde was a renovation, a garage, turned it into a dwelling space, and that received its occupancy permit yesterday. So that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for Scott? If not, we'll move on to the chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have nothing of significance to report tonight. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready? Having visited with Bruce, I gather that this dog that's been roaring through my neighborhood is now under control?
Which
A
dog?
big black dog that goes around biting people and threatening dogs?
I know that we've had a variety of dog calls that we've dealt with. I'm not sure if, we don't have a bite report.
This lady across the street told me her,
I
no, I don't want to attack me,
I don't know what that means either. We don't have a bite report.
but there's no big issue with this dog right now that you're aware of?
I think people are just tired of it running and confront and, challenging people and with their dogs, and even without a dog. It's a black dog with a big white patch on his chest. I saw him, he was in the neighbor's backyard on Sunday morning for a little bit. Their side gate was open, he was back there and left again. He comes from Grant Street or somewhere, is all I can tell you,
What was
over in that
it?
direction.
There was a gray dog that we were dealing with the last week and a half, and I hope that one's under control. Now that you mention that dog from Sunday, yes, I don't know that we have it under control, but it's, the owners are supposed to be dealing with it.
I hope it doesn't meet a child on a bicycle.
I
We've got a lot of
agree.
little kids on our street on bicycles these days.
I agree completely.
And then I have another question for you. This dog has had me out on my porch on Dog Scout, just to make sure I've got my front yard safely. And I have noticed that there have been a lot of people walking up and down our streets with dogs, which I think is great, but I'm seeing a lot of loose dogs running up and down streets with people that are not in control. I'm concerned about this. I've seen these loose dogs running into mobbing a little dog, going into a yard where little kids playing, being 3 or 4 blocks ahead of the person and way out of control. It looks like right now our leash law is not doing very much to protect us from the general dogs. If we have a leash law that says if you have your dog under control, you don't have to have him on a leash, that to me is the biggest red flag in the world, that you want to run just as fast as you can from that dog. And I'm wondering, from the standpoint of having to enforce this type of leash law, do you think this is an effective and a fair leash law where some dogs can run free because they're under control and other dogs are on leashes?
I will frame my response this way. Children can run around and do whatever they want to, and they can comprehend directions and instructions. Why would we expect an animal to readily do that? When it comes to having dogs on leash and being out in public, I am strongly in favor of having a constant leash law. A dog should not be off leash if they're being walked on a public street, because you may know your dog, I don't know your dog, and I don't know how your dog is going to respond or react depending upon my behaviors. And they're animals. And there are some dogs out there that are very, very well trained, and I've worked with them. But you can't always account for what they might do at any given point in time, and they should always be on a leash.
Do you think that we need to look at this law and revise it so that we don't have this loophole where some people have their dogs running at large and other people have their dogs on leashes and they're behaving very well?
We just revised that like maybe less than 2 years ago.
Then why are dogs running loose from people following them around at a distance? That's not a leash.
Well, the leash law we looked at it, and we also talked about the ones that people have a dog that, are trained and you can tell stay close and follow command. But there has to be a complaint, and it has to be a problem seen either by an officer or by animal control.
We have one in our neighborhood we've complained about 5 times and still running up and down the street at large with someone trailing behind it at will, uncontrolled. So it does not seem to me that it's a very fair law and that it's a rather dangerous law if we're saying your dog is going to run loose because you have them under control, but your dog has got to be on a leash because it's right by someone.
It's pretty obvious to tell whether a dog is trained in it well enough to be under command, but because usually they stay very close to their owner. But there has to be a complaint. There has to be a citizen complaint.
So if a dog attacks somebody, but it wasn't witnessed by P&E or animal control?
They can come in and make a complaint about it to the PD.
Well, I mean, can you do anything if it wasn't witnessed?
You can sign a complaint against them.
What
If
good does a complaint
let me
do?
say this, if we receive a complaint about the behavior of a dog, we will investigate and follow up on it. And it depends upon the complainant of how they feel about it, what action we will or won't take, and what the dog owner provides us as information as well. But we can't do anything unless we observe it or somebody reports it to us. In the example that Councilmember Nunn gave us, supposedly there was an attack or somebody bit. Well, we don't have that complaint. And if it occurred and something needs to be done, we need to have that complaint made to us.
So I have to run out in the street and say, hey, what's your name? I want to make a complaint about your dog running loose and be bit for sure.
Contemporaneous reports are the best, not, hey, 20 minutes ago, I saw somebody walking down the street and the dog was running loose. 20 minutes, even when you're on foot, that gives you a long ways to go before we can find you. So we need contemporaneous reports, and we need somebody to provide an accurate report. So if we say, hey, I don't know this person, but they were wearing blue jeans and a red sweater, and they were walking a German Shepherd mix, and I saw the Shepherd do this just right now, that gives us the opportunity to follow up on it. Quite often we get the reports of, well, this happened 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, or this dog did this 2 days ago, and it makes it really difficult for us to follow up on.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not? Jared, IT.
Yeah, not much for IT. We did install a TV and a video conferencing system up in the second floor. And so that's set up as a Microsoft Teams room. So if we need to hold any large video conferences, and it'll also double as, a presentation area and possibly training area. We're looking at some new tables up there, chairs maybe that we can utilize the spaces for training, for, digital learning if we need to do that up there. Been working on some of the servers and the hardware, and then also the in-car video systems for the police vehicles. We've got 2 different systems, as Chief's mentioned before, and we're just making sure they work right now, and we're able to get video off. So we got all that figured out here in the past week or 2, and then also looking at new systems.
You guys are going to body cameras too, Chief? You said?
So one of the things I've asked for in the police department, I hope it's okay, I jumped up, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
One of the things I've asked for is to get new camera systems. As you may be aware, we have in-car video
Yeah, and there was
systems.
two different systems.
We have two different systems. The one system is failing miserably. It needs to be replaced. We need to have the same system. And what I want to do is investigate a variety of options. Reliable in-car camera systems cost about $5,000 per patrol vehicle for installation and hardware. And that's a lot of money. And there are camera systems, there are body cam systems that are cheaper and would provide similar footage. So I want to do a little bit more investigation before we go for a system or a type of system we want to go with. But we need to get something different and change to something different.
Legally, whether you have a camera on the officer or in the car, is there any difference in how sound your evidence is or how good your proof is whether there's a car camera or a body camera?
No, they both have the limitations of what the camera angle is, whether it's working properly, whether it's picking up the appropriate audio. Body cams, they go where the cop goes. Dash cams only sit and face one direction. They're not dynamic. So there are pluses and minuses for each other system.
Ideally, we need both of them.
Ideally, I would like to have a system that supports both body cams and dash cams.
Chief, do you getting this on this budget, or?
What I expressed at the budget meeting was, if we can make it happen in the next budget year, I really want to do something next budget year, but we got a variety of other things that we need to address, and it also is dependent upon how well the budget does. I don't want to spend a bunch of money, potentially $50,000+ to get a system up and running if we cannot afford it at the time.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Hope that answered everything for you.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'd just like to remind everybody about the big brooms coming up on May 4th through May 8th. Just remind everybody that's out there, take advantage of it. And he's got a big, generous heart, and he's willing to pick up anything you have. With
Not
the exception
exactly.
of tires, refrigerators.
No.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, that was my next question, except for what?
Hazardous material we won't pick up.
And so, yeah, pass the word.
Next is items from the floor. I don't see that, if anybody's called in, or I don't see anything that's showed up, so I guess we'll move on to new business. Ordinance number 719. This is ordinance approving the vacation and rezone change of a 15.0 acre portion of the southwest corner of Lot 10 of the Oregon Trail Estates addition from single-family residence to industrial. This is the second reading. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we move it on, ordinance 719.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next is Resolution 2020-6, a resolution designating Hilltop Bank as a depository for town funds and authorizing the town treasurer to deposit funds in the depository. Whereas the town of Glen Rock has received application from Hilltop Bank to be a depository for the town funds, and whereas Hilltop Bank is qualified to act as a depository for town funds as set forth in Section 9-4-817 Wyoming Statutes 1977 as amended, and whereas Hilltop has read the town of Glen Rock Statement of Investment Policy and a Statement of Compliance has been completed and is on file with the town treasurer. Now therefore be it further resolved by the governing body of the town of Glen Rock that Hilltop Bank is hereby designated as a depository for town funds, and the town treasurer is authorized to deposit town funds to the extent of that such deposits are fully insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation or secured by pledges of assets as provided by law. Passed and approved and adopted the 27th day of April 2020. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2020-6.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Bruce, is this the one where we all have to sign the statement? That we don't have an interest or something down there?
That's just a general form that we do beginning of, I think, each year, but this is just so that we can deposit funds
In this bank?
in this bank. Yeah, we do that with all banks that we deposit funds in. Any other questions? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. Next item of agenda on our, tonight, I believe, is, let me get back there, is bills and claims. Is there a motion?
I move we pay our bills, our claims.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Where was all the concrete work done at?
Oregon Trails.
Oregon Trails and Deer.
In Deer?
Replacing a lot of bad sidewalk.
Sidewalk and curb and gutter.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. In our meeting last month, there was a question came up, closed before we were done with, is there an interest to go into executive session to talk about real estate and legal matters?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss real estate and legal matters.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Being no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by nay. Motion carries. We'll adjourn to executive session for a little bit. I think we can sign Kelly's before we go to do that, and for bills and claims, and anybody else, you don't need to stay, you're more